latest release of ClassJuggler version 7.4.0, we've made a variety of interface improvements, including animated buttons and animated alerts. In order for these new features to appear properly in your web browser, we must first clear the old cached data files and browser data so that the new ClassJuggler features will appear properly in your web browser. If you use a Mac, this could be in Safari, Chrome, or Firefox, and on a PC, Chrome or Firefox. Let's get started on how to reset those files on all these different web browsers. To better explain these changes, I'm going to show you an example of a screen in ClassJuggler where the web browser's cache files have not been cleared, and then show you that same web page after we've cleared our web browsing data so that these new features in ClassJuggler appear properly. To view this, let's just pull up any customer from our database by selecting the customer listing and then selecting a customer record. If I hover over the Save Changes and Delete button, you'll notice that there's no change on the look of the buttons as I hover my mouse over them. If I click the Save Changes button, you'll see an animated alert appear at the top center of my screen. You'll notice the font size is overly large, which isn't correct. Now let's take a look at ClassJuggler with these new features as they should be displayed. I'm going to go back to my customer listing. Just select one of my customers. And as before, I'm going to hover my mouse over the Save Changes and Delete button, but now you'll notice they're animating and showing me by darkening that they're ready to be clicked. Also, when I click on Save Changes, you'll see my animated alert at the top of the screen is much more appropriately sized. And these are the two things that you want to look for in your web browser to make sure you've got the latest version of ClassJuggler running. So now let's go and talk about how to reset our cache files to make sure that all the new features of ClassJuggler work perfectly in your web browser. So in Safari for the Macintosh, there's two ways you can clear your cache data. The easiest is just to go to the Safari menu and select Clear History. Once you've chose that, you want to set that to All History, and then click your Clear History button. The second way to clear your cache data from your Safari web browser is by enabling the Developer menu. And to do that, we would go into our Preferences from the Safari menu, then to the Advanced tab, and at the very bottom you'll see a checkbox that says Show Develop Menu in the menu bar. Once that's enabled, you'll have a new menu at the top called Develop, and you'll see an option right here in the middle that says Empty Caches. On Google's Chrome for the Macintosh, resetting your cache data is very easy. All we need to do is go to the Dot menu over on the right side of the screen, select History, and then over on the left, click on Clear Browsing Data. And from here, we want to clear our browsing history and our cached images and files. And then click the Clear Data button. And finally, for the Macintosh, is the Firefox web browser. Go to the little stacked hamburger menu in the upper right corner, open that menu, and then we're going to go to Preferences, and I'm going to search for cache just to find that preference much easier. And once I do that, you'll see I have a button on the right that says Clear Data. I'm going to click on Clear Data, and we're going to clear cookies and site data and cached web content. On Google Chrome for the PC, we'll click on the same three-dot menu in the upper right-hand corner, then come down and select Settings from the menu. And from the Settings menu, we're going to search for the word Cache, C-A-C-H-E, which takes us right to the appropriate screen we want. Select Clear Browsing Data, And we only want browsing history and cached images and files. We'll also want to select all time from the time range dropdown, and then click on the Clear Data button. And finally, to clear your cache on Mozilla Firefox for the PC, just click on the hamburger menu in the upper right hand corner, then choose Options from the menu. And from the options screen, you can search for the word cache, and you'll see a button just there on the screen that says Clear Cache. We only need to clear our web content, not our cookies, so we can uncheck that option on the screen. And then click Clear to clear out all that old data. And now you're done.